Hi girls and boys. Today Lauren and Matt and I decided to go for a walk in the woods. We're just a little bit north of McKinleyville and we're just off one of the roads on Green Diamond, since that's where Matt works, and just taking a little hike up in the woods. And I want to show you some of the cool things we've been looking at today. Yesterday it rained, so there's a lot of new growth, a lot of things you only see in the springtime, or things that often come out in the springtime. It's one of my favorite times to take a walk in the woods. Here we see a little salamander, and Matt was just telling Lauren and I about him. What's he called again, Matt?
It's an Encentina. And you can tell based on its coloration, and you can see the tail right here. There's the end of the tail, and it comes out and it gets a little bit fatter, and right where it attaches towards his body, it narrows down, and then his body flares back out.
Is he okay to pick up?
Yeah. It's probably about 3 inches long.
Yeah. He's not very big. Cute little guy. He's got big eyes. He's not particularly happy about being on my hand, is he?
No. Your hands are warm.
Yeah, he wants to be in a nice, cool, dark area. We'll let him go back onto his ground there. Was he under something when you found him?
Yeah, he was under this log right here. I flipped it over.
And there he is.
And I show the log that he was under.
Yeah. Pretty big chunk of wood. We'll go ahead and just really gently put it back over the top of him. We'll keep going on our walk here. Bye, love dude. It rained last night, and there's a bunch of different kinds of mushrooms and fungi that we're finding out in the woods today. This one looks like coral that you would see in the ocean. It's really cool looking. Look at these really crazy types of, I think it's a type of fungus or mushroom. They remind me of a sea anemone or sea urchin. They're pink in color, and they grow right straight up out of the forest floor. They're really interesting. We're seeing quite a few of them today. Find here, Lauren.
Mushroom.
Some other kind of mushroom? Yeah. Oh, look, he's really cute. He looks like those ones that you could draw, put little fairy underneath it during the rain to keep the little fairy dry. It's really a pretty little spot here with all this moss. And here we have a forest snail. They're a different kind of snail than what we have in our garden. I really think they're super cool to look at. They've got these great shells that spiral. Oh, he doesn't like me picking him up. I just found him like crawling along the forest floor here. Put him right there. And then Matt has got something else for us to see. Oh, look at him. He is so cool.
Red-legged frog.
A red-legged frog.
If I turn him over, you can see his red legs.
He does not like that. But he sure is pretty. You find them all up and down our coastline, right?
Mm-hmm.
After the rains this time of the year, you can see all kinds of really cool flowers blooming in the forest. This one here looks like little hearts dripping down from their stems. This one here is a little bit more mature, and you can see the seed pods starting to develop from the flower. This green part right here is actually the seed pod that's coming out of that flower, and as it matures and grows a little bit, the seeds will develop, and then those little pods will break open and could become more of this type of flower, which I don't remember right now what it's called. But you really only see it blooming in the spring. Really pretty. Lauren just pointed these out to me. They're like a little fungus that's growing on this branch right here. And you get close to it, they're just bright yellow. They're crazy. It's amazing all the crazy little things that you can find when you are out in the woods and just take time to really get down close and look. I think ferns are some of the most interesting kinds of plants to look at. They're prehistoric. Ferns go way, way, way back before people started recording time. And in the springtime, all the ferns will start coming out. And one of the things I think is so fascinating is about how they unfurl. And they are growing. They're like curled up in these little bundles. And as they grow, they uncurl their little new fern fronds. And like as I'm looking here, there's just so many of them. All these little bundles, and they're uncurling as they develop. I just think they're absolutely fascinating and beautiful. What you got, Matt?
A tree frog,
A little green tree frog?
or a chorus frog.
How do you know he's a tree frog versus the red-legged frog that we saw earlier?
Well, really, it's about his coloration,
Yeah.
his size.
They don't grow nearly as big, do they?
No,
Oh, look, you can see his little heart beating. It's okay, little guy. We're going to let you go right after we take a look at you. It's pretty cute.
people could often find these in their backyards.
Yeah, these are the ones that are pretty common, huh?
Very common.
They've got a small size but a really loud voice.
Yeah, and you're croaking probably sometimes in the evening outside your window.
Oh, he's got a... All right, well, we're going to let him go now. This plant is called oxalis. It's really cool looking. Here in this little section, it's almost like a little meadow. Looks kind of like four-leaf clover, but they're much bigger. And what's so cool about them is when you flip the leaves over, they're this really bright, beautiful purple color. They're really delicate. They're so pretty. Look at each one has that characteristic purple color on the back. Pretty cool. No video of the Redwood Coast would be complete without at least one image of this guy. Yep. The banana slug. These little guys are actually pretty important to our environment. They're decomposers, which means that they take the dead leaves and different detritus on the forest floor and they eat it up, thereby disposing of all the dead matter, and they convert it through their body, turns back into soil that can then be used for other things to grow. My favorite part of them is their little antennas, their little eyeballs. They retract. If you really take a few minutes to look at him, he's pretty cool. I don't know if you can hear it, but right now I'm down by a little creek. Up on this, I'm standing on a log, Lauren and Matt and I are down by this little creek that's flowing pretty good after yesterday's rain. We went for such a great walk. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing some of the crazy things and cool things and special things that we saw when we were out in the woods. This video was actually done, or pieces of the video were taken several days ago. But we're getting a lot more rain right now, and a lot of those same kinds of things that you're going to see when it rains here in Humboldt County and when it's wet and moist out. All those special things that you get to see when you're out in the forest. I really encourage you guys, when you have a chance, to go out and explore. That's all for now. Bye, guys.